Okay, so let's talk about something wild. Imagine you're an amazing golfer and you get the call. It's a golden ticket invitation to play in a PGA Tour event. I mean, that's the dream, right? Well, today we're looking at the story of Grant Horvat, who's a huge star online. He got offered that exact dream, and he actually said no. And his decision, believe it or not, tells us a ton about how sports and media are completely changing. Yeah, this is the big question, isn't it? It just doesn't make sense on the surface. The PGA Tour is the absolute peak of professional golf. Thousands of players grind their entire lives for a shot like this, a sponsor's exemption. So why in the world would you turn it down? Well, the answer shows this fascinating clash between the old way of doing things and, well, the new way. And boom, here's the answer straight from Grant himself. You see, the PGA Tour has this super strict rule. You can't bring your own cameras and film during the tournament. For Grant, a guy whose whole career is built on bringing his audience right there with him, that was a total deal breaker. This quote says it all. It's his authenticity versus their rules. So you might be wondering, who is this guy? Who becomes so big that they can actually say no to the PGA Tour? To really get why he made this call, you have to understand where he came from, because his path is not what you'd expect from a typical pro. Okay, so what's really key on this timeline is what happens after college. See, most aspiring pros, they go through this brutal, soul-crushing grind of Q school and mini tours. He didn't do that. Instead, he jumped headfirst into the YouTube world with the GM Golf Crew, and then, in a really gutsy move, he left to go completely solo. And this is so important to understand. He wasn't just trying to be another guy making golf videos. Grant wanted to build his own thing, from the ground up. He wanted total creative control, he wanted to make his own schedule, and, this is a big one, he wanted to spend more time with his dad, the guy who taught him how to play. He was building a brand, not just a YouTube channel. And did it work out for him? Yeah. Just look at this number. Over 1.4 million subscribers on YouTube. This isn't just some small channel. It's a massive, super engaged community that most guys on the actual PGA Tour would kill for. And let's be real, this number is the exact reason the PGA Tour came knocking in the first place. Which brings us right back to the main event. You've got this creator with a huge, loyal fan base, and you've got this legendary institution that wants in on that audience. But when they actually tried to come together, it turned out their worlds just could not mix. So let's break down the offer itself. It was a sponsor's exemption to play in the Barracuda Championship, a real PGA Tour event, a massive deal. But then, there was the catch. That single, non-negotiable rule: no filming for your own channels. For Grant, this wasn't just some small print. It went against the entire foundation of his career. And this chart really lays out the two different mindsets perfectly. On one side, you've got the PGA Tour. It's all about legacy, prestige, getting that institutional stamp of approval, and maybe winning a major. Then you have Grant's path, the creator path. That's all about having a direct line to your audience, having total control, and telling your own story. His entire business is built on things that are the polar opposite of the tour's controlled world. And this is the great irony in all of this, something his fans pointed out immediately. The PGA Tour invited him because he built this incredible community. They wanted his influence. But their rules meant he couldn't do the one thing that actually built that community. He couldn't share the biggest moment of his career with the very people who got him there. So you see, this is so much more than just one guy saying no to one tournament. Grant's decision is a signal of a much bigger change. His no is basically a new kind of challenge to the old guard, not just in golf, but in all of professional sports. Let's put a name on what he represents. It's the creator model. It's this idea that an individual can build a massive, successful career on their own terms. They control the story, they have a direct relationship with their fans, and they don't need the stamp of approval from a big old institution to be considered legit. The gatekeepers are losing their power. Now, to be fair, the PGA Tour isn't completely clueless. They know they need to get with the times. I mean, they helped make that Full Swing series on Netflix, they're all over social media, they're even letting players loosen up the dress code. But, and this is a big but, the core issue is still there. At the end of the day, they want to own the story. They want control. And that's the big contradiction that Grant's whole situation just blew wide open. The tour wants new energy, they want young fans, they want these fresh faces, but they want them to play by the old rules. They want to be modern, but only on their own terms. They're not quite ready for people who are truly independent. So, here's what it all comes down to. Grant Horvat might never win a major championship, but what he has built is an audience of over 1 million people who value his personality and his journey way more than some official trophy. They're there for him, not for a title. And that, right there, is a massive shift in power. Which leaves us with this final, massive question. Looking forward, what's going to matter more in golf, and maybe in all sports? Is it the old-school prestige that comes from these legacy institutions? Or is it the direct, authentic connection that creators can build with their audience? Grant Horvat has already cast his vote, and now the entire sports world has to figure out its answer.